The point slope form of the equation of a line is given by this formula. You're going to need to substitute in these two things into this equation in order to determine the equation of a line. So you're going to need to know a point and a slope. We'll start out with problem number 16. M is 7/8, and we're passing to the point -2, -9. This one's going to be a little bit harder than the one that I'm going to follow up with, one that you're going to do. If I wanted the equation of a line, I got to realize that this is my x1 and y1. And I'm going to plug it into that formula up above. There are two things that you're not going to substitute for. This y and that x. That y and that x just remain as they are. What's the equation look like? Well, it's going to be y minus -9 equals 7/8 times x minus -2. My suggestion as you work this problem would be to take care of the double negatives first. So y plus 9 equals 7/8 times x plus 2. Now let's see if we can't distribute and then simplify. Eventually, I'm going to want to solve for y. I want y by itself to put it in slope-intercept form. So it's y plus 9 equals 7/8 x plus 7/8 times 2. What's 7/8 times 2 going to look like? 7/8 times, let's call it 2 over 1. Is there any simplification there? 2 goes into 2 once and into 8 4 times. So, okay. 7/4. So far, so good. There's just one last step that we need to solve for y. What is it? Subtract 9. When I subtract it over here, I kind of anticipate that I'm going to need a common denominator. 9 over 1 is equivalent to 4 and what? Something over 4. Thank you, 36. So on the left-hand side, I'm left with 9. Excuse me, left with the 0 there. So y equals 7/8 x. 7 minus 36 is 29. It's 29 over 4. Not necessarily a friendly-looking equation, but, you know, it'll work. Works just fine. I wrote this as an equivalent fraction. If you multiply the denominator by 4 and the numerator by 4, essentially you're multiplying by 1 because it's something over itself. If I don't cancel, then I get -9 times 4 is -36. 1 times 4 is 4. So I've given myself common denominators so that I can do the subtraction. Let me give you one to try. Problem number 24. The numbers here are a little bit friendlier. You are going to have to work with fractions a little bit. That's okay. Slope is 1/4. Your point is 8 and 1. Plug this into this formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. It should be a minus here. by itself. All right, so not too bad to distribute here because 1/4 times x is just 1/4 x. 1/4 of 8. So let me do that up here. 1/4 times, call it 8 over 1. You get some cancellation. 4 goes into 4 once and into 8 twice. Last but not least, add 1 to both sides. Y equals 1/4 x minus 1. Yay. Were most of you able to get that one? Okay. Let's try problem number 30. So I'm changing things up a little bit. Instead of giving you a slope and a point, now I'm just going to give you 2 points. So -2 and 2, and 2 and -8. The goal is still the same though. The goal is to try and find the equation of a line between these 2 points. Well, I told you that there's 2 things that you need in order to find the equation of a line. One of them was a slope, the other one was a point. But all we have is 2 points. So what are we going to do? Yeah, let's just find the slope. Remember, you have a slope formula. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So good job. Let's see about finding the equation of finding the slope then. We'll call this x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Mark, how does this formula look like when you fill it in with these values? Good. -8 minus 2. Good. Over. Yeah. Good. So I get -10 over 4, which is -5/2. Thank you, sir. Okay. Well, now I got a different problem. I've got a slope, but 2 points. Which point should I use? Yeah, the answer is either. Yeah. Now, if one point looks easier to use than the other one, use the easier point. Absolutely. So we'll finish this off with, I don't know, which one looks easier? First one or the second one? First one? All right, the smaller numbers, I like that. So y minus y1 is 2 equals m times x minus x1. So it's y minus 2 equals -5/2 x plus 2. Again, keep in mind, I'm going to want you to solve for y. So I'll have to distribute the -5/2 x. First term gives me negative 5 halves x. Second term gives me what? Yeah, good. Just negative 5. I think I said distribute the 5 halves x. Distribute the negative 5 halves. Last but not least, add 2 to both sides. Y equals negative 5 halves x minus 3. Is it worth it to check it? Want to check our answer, see that we got it right? Yeah, no. No, let's just do the next one. All right. But you could graph it and see that this line passed through both of those points. In fact, we don't even have to do that much. You could check it simply by plugging in this point. Does negative 2 and 2 work in this equation? Well, if I plugged in a negative 2 here, negative 5 halves times negative 2 would be a positive 5. Positive 5 minus 3 would give me 2. So the first point checks. The second point is going to check as well. But you do have to check both of them. Let me see if I can't find something here for us real quick. No, not seeing it. Bummer. All right, I'll have to find it some other time. But I had a nice applications of, well, yeah, that'll work. Here you go. Does anyone ever play Words with Friends? Yeah, all right. A couple people. Used to be an addiction of mine for quite a while. The thing that would kill me is the word strength meter, because it would tell you, okay, yeah, this word is worth so many points. Now I think there was like 18 bars that you could light up, and 18 bars would mean you got the whole thing. You nailed it. You got it right. So the question was, you try a word, okay, it's 10 bars light up, it's worth 19 points. You try another word, you light up 11 bars, it's worth 21 points. So how many if you got all 18 bars lit up? So basically this is a linear equation that we can solve here. You can see it on the board here. I have 2 points plotted. So what happens way out here at 18? Let's figure that out. In fact, you're going to figure that out. What I want you to do is I want you to find the equation of a line between these 2 points. So let's see, you had coordinates of 10 and 19 and 11 and 21. So those are the 2 points. Find the equation of a line, put it in slope and intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And then find y when x equals 18. What is that maximum point value going to be? All right, but start this way. Start by finding the equation of a line between these 2 points. The numbers should work out nice and even for you on this one. You can help each other out, that's fine. First thing I'm going to do is find the slope here. So I'll call this x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. So 21 minus 19 over 11 minus 10 gives me 2 over 1, or better yet, just 2 for the slope of the line. Now once I have that slope, I can use either of these as my x1, y1 for the next part of this. So I'm going to fill that formula in, the point slope form of the equation of a line. Y minus 19 equals 2 times x minus 10. If you distribute the distribute the 2 and then add 19, I get the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Yay. Now there's one last part here, and it was defined y when x is 18. So 2 times 18 minus 1 is 36 minus 1, which is 35. So that's the maximum that you could score if there was a nice linear relationship between the number of bars and the number of points. Okay. The big goal here is not to really kick your friend's butt in Words with Friends. It's to try and find the equational line between 2 points. So are you comfortable with that part? Okay, resounding yes. Thank you. Let's finish up section 3.6. Problem 34 and 38, a couple review type problems. Let's start with problem number 34 first. We want to find the equation of a line between these 2 points, negative 2 and 15 and negative 2 and 1. I'd suggest you start by plotting those 2 points. So negative 2 and 15, so it would be right here. What about negative 2 and 1? Whoops, no, not there. Never happened. So I want to find the equation of this line. Who's got it? Big E? What's the equation of that line? Some help? You don't need the page. Everything we need to know is right here. Oh, you didn't get that handout? All right. Here you go. Jackie, what's the equation of that line? That's its slope is undefined. Good. But what's the equation, though? Appreciate the effort. No, sorry. Yeah. No. No, not negative 14x. Well, first of all, is it... All right, go ahead. Yeah, x equal negative 2. That's all there is to it. It doesn't have a defined slope. What does y equals something look like? When I graph y equals 3 or 6 or 2 1/4, what's that graph look like? It's going to be a horizontal line, right? So vertical lines, you're going to get x equals something. Now on an exam, please don't answer this when I ask you for the equation of a line. Don't just give me negative 2, because I'll mark it wrong. So I need to know that you understand that it's x equal negative 2, not y equals negative 2, which would be a horizontal line. The next one should be a little bit easier. And I've even, well, check this out. I've even graphed this point for you. 2/3 and 2. All right, you kind of have to guesstimate on that one a little bit. But see if you can't figure out the equation of the line through those 2 points. You could actually go through the point slope form of the equation of line and do all the stuff that we did for the previous problem, but I'm hoping that you won't have to. All right, so that second point is up here, 0 and 2. I want to find the equation of a line running through both of those 2 points. I know you know it, but who else knows it? What's the equation of this line? Y equals 2. Sorry, I'm forgetting your name. Second one. Yes. Sydney. Thanks, Sydney. What's the slope of that line, Sydney? Some help? Undefined? Let's put it this way. What if I wrote it as 0x plus 2? Are these two equivalent? So what's the slope of this line then? 0. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Keep those things straight. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Does anyone remember what they said? Somebody said about this line. Yeah. Undefined. Make sure you get some of these things. These are easy points that are going to be on the exam. Let's go back to a garden variety. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 problem. Problem number 62. You're given a slope of 6 passing through the point 1, negative 2. Find the equation in slope-intercept form of that line. Yes, sir. So y minus y1, we'll consider this your x1, y1. So it's y minus negative 2 equals 6 times x minus 1. Let's make that double negative a positive and distribute the 6 on the right-hand side. If I subtract 2 from both sides, then I end up with y equals 6x minus 8. How can you prove that our line does both things here? There's 2 things that we can test. We can show that it has a slope of 6 and that it passes through here. How can I do both of those without having to look at the graph? Sure. Well, actually, both of them. So if I plug it in, if I wanted to check it, it's does negative 2 equal 6 times 1 minus 8? So I'm plugging in my x and y coordinates into this equation. Does negative 2 equal 6 minus 8? Yeah, that works. How about the slope, though? How can I be sure that I have a line that has a slope of 6? This is the easier part. Jackie, how do I know this line has a slope of 6? You're working harder than you have to. Yeah, right there. There's your slope of 6, right? It's the coefficient of x. For homework, try 11 through 25, 29 through 37, and 41 through 73.